Oh, we're live. Are we ready?
We're live.
1, 2, 3. Love
shine a light in every corner of my heart.
Let's love. Well, that's it. I think that will do. We're going to lose people already before we've even started.
Quit.
Right. Hello, everyone. Hello. Good evening. Good morning. If you're brave like Danie, what time is it there, Danie?
3 a.m. The things I do, you know, for Eurovision.
Exactly. Commitment.
I can sleep tomorrow. It's fine. It's all fine.
Okay. So, what we're going to start with, I think, as you all know, if you've seen our little note out today, that we're going to be doing 3 lots of half an hour. So you're going to get a different reactor in each half an hour. But what we're going to be talking about is actually quite similar, but it's just that you'll get everyone's opinions during each half an hour. Yeah? Does that make sense? Okay. So we're going to start off talking about last night. We're going to start off talking about Shine a Light. So who wants to start us off?
Go ahead, Danie.
Iago.
You volunteered the other one. Right, Iago, go.
Okay,
go.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it was weird because we are the whole year waiting for the grand final night, and we still want a show, but I don't know if that was the show that we were expecting. It was kind of sad. It was kind of satisfying just for having something to watch on Eurovision night, but I don't know, the show, the entirely show was like coronavirus theme mixed with some Eurovision. I miss more of the 2020 acts of Eurovision. I mean, I love to see all artists coming back to Eurovision. It means that they love the contest and the format. But it was kind of sad for me. But I think that not everybody, but almost a lot of people was feeling like kind of sad, but just because of the situation. So for me, it was okay. We watched Shine a Light in every corner of our hearts. And now it's time to move on to the 2021 edition. I think we need like kind of a little break from Eurovision and move on to the next year.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah, I think we may all be about to say a very, very similar thing, that it was great to have something, but I think I felt quite flat by the end of it. I think it was a very somber affair, which it's good for the mood. It would have been wrong for us all to have been like proper partying. The world is a pretty crap place right now. So I understood the mood, but I think it dominated a bit too much, if it's fair to say that. And also, there were 41 songs and 2 hours plus a lot of previous artists, and I don't think this year's artists got enough recognition, really. If you think that Saturday night in particular was the night that a lot of people who haven't been involved in Eurovision before, that is the only time that they saw these songs. And I expected it to be a snippet, but I didn't expect it to be quite so. So I felt a bit sorry for them in that way. I actually think that the BBC programme that was on just before Shine a Light actually gave some of the artists better coverage, ironically. Danie, what do you think?
See, we were spoiled for choice here in Australia. We've had a full week of Eurovision content. We've played all of the grand finals that we've been in since we joined the contest, so from 2015 onwards to 2019. And then on Saturday night, we had SBS's Big Night In, which I thought would be more like what Shine a Light was going to be. And I thought, oh, that's going to be strange because we're going to have very similar shows. But the Big Night In thing, there was a public voting. And of course, we didn't vote for ourselves. So it was the 40 songs, and we did sort of lengthy snippets of 40 to 11, and then 10 to 1, we played the full songs. And it was really interactive. There was a lot of stuff on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff, which was great. And then this morning I got up at 5 to watch Shine a Light on YouTube so I could, watch it with you. And I was really overwhelmed, and I wondered how I would go, because I've just watched it again because we had a replay at 8:30 here. And so I think on a second watch, I probably appreciated it more, if that makes any sense. I think I was just so overwhelmed by the whole thing. Like, as soon as Molitva started, I was gone, but at least I was laying in bed and no one was seeing me. But we did like a Facebook room of a few of our mates, and we watched Shine a Light together. Shine a Light together. But the thing was, a lot of us who had watched it in the morning and then watched it in the evening definitely appreciated it more. But I can totally understand what you're saying, because we were really blessed with having that Saturday night show, which was SBS's thing, because we really got to showcase the 2020 acts probably a little bit more than you have. Like, I haven't seen the BBC thing yet. I'm going to try and find it somewhere online just to see what kind of programming happened for at least the UK. But yeah, look, I honestly thought that it would be a little bit more what we got for Big Night In. And, it was going to be somber anyway. I think we've all sort of gone through this really lengthy grief process, but now at least that it's done, we can move forward, and, the 2021 season starts. And we can sort of move on from it. Yay! So, yeah, it's weird, yeah. So
some of the filming, I think, and Will's just put that, to be honest, and I was going to say that, the filming in the empty streets, I thought this is really iconic, because when we look back, when we do watch agains, at some point in the future, there will be a watch again of 2020, and we'll all go, oh my God, remember that? Remember when all the streets were empty, and it got all the capital cities and they were all empty? And Molliver, when she was in the street, it's like, oh my God. So as much as there were bits where I was like, oh, I'm not liking it, there were other bits that were just so beautiful and so iconic of this time, because hopefully at some point it's going to pass and we'll just go, wow, do you remember when that happened? So I have to say, BBC in the UK has quite I'm going to say this, a bad, poor reputation for showing only one side of Eurovision. And I don't know if any Brits are in the chat and whether they're going to agree with me, but I was actually quite surprised by the BBC Come Together programme, because whilst it wasn't all 2020 artists, they had actually included some real iconic performances from throughout, and not just Waterloo, ABBA, Bucks Fizz, Making Your Mind Up, which are the usual ones the BBC shows. They actually had well, I can't even remember, but they had some really interesting ones, and we got to vote on those. So fair play, BBC. I was actually quite happy with that. Did Spain do anything else, Iago, last night?
If you didn't want to say something very specifically about BBC, I don't know if I want to say something very specific about our national TV, because we did have nothing. I think Spain was just the only country that wasn't like a special show before or after the Shine a Light show. So it was kind of depressing, because Spanish Euro fans are so passionate, and we want some content they just are treating the contest really bad.
Right.
So it was kind of sad for Spain, but well, I'm happy that you have at least one special show yesterday, but it was terrible. In fact, I saw some comments talking about the free contest that Germany did, because Germany, I think, lately is taking it very seriously. I saw that Spain won. Ah, so I'm not happy for Spain taking serious the contest, but I'm happy to see that other countries, even if Eurovision was not happening, okay, let's give the Euro fans or the people in the country some Eurovision content. So, well, at least it worked well for some countries.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and to be fair, across the whole of the BBC network, the stuff on the radio, there was stuff online. There was the A to Z of Eurovision that came on after Shine a Light. They actually really did push it and go for it. So, complimenti.
Very good. Yeah, I think I didn't watch them last night because I thought I should go to bed with today being such a long day for me. We did actually put, well, we as in SBS did put some sort of documentary kind of special programming on after, and I think that ran until 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So there was no way that I was going to do that and then get up at 5 again. But I would really be interested to see the BBC programming. And yes, I do have a VPN. You need a VPN here in Australia for anything. So yeah, I think I'd really like to see what happened and how, especially, you know, the UK sort of handled this. But I feel bad for Iago. Like, you know, you just didn't get anything.
Don't worry, we're used to it.
Yeah, carry on.
Yesterday, Katie and I were interviewed in BBC Birmingham Radio, and I was asked about how do I feel like a Spanish guy about UK in Eurovision, and I was like, we're kind of family in Eurovision. We're always in the last spots of the scoreboard, so we're used
I
to
was thinking because I remember your reactions to most of UK in the last decade and the UK in the noughties, and you're not that complimentary about the UK. And I thought, how do you handle this politely live on BBC Radio? And he did it very well. He went, "He like Lucy Jones. She was great."
You'll have to send me the link because I need to listen to it.
Yeah. I will do it. But I mean, I don't want to be a hater. It's just about finding the good points about the country, about the songs.
Yeah.
Even if the UK is not one of my favorite countries in Eurovision, I hope this new decade is changing in Eurovision, but for some countries, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it's just like that.
Just before we move on, what did we think of like the use of the semi-final time? You know, on Tuesday and Thursday?
I still haven't watched Thursday.
Yeah.
I watched Tuesday and I was like, do I get up and watch it live? And I thought, yeah, all right, I will. And it was just a clip show. And, you know, I was sort of a bit disappointed. But I really did enjoy the fan postcards. I thought they were absolutely amazing. And I hope that, you know, from now on, Eurovision TV does something with that, because I thought it was really great. And, you know, I actually haven't sat down and watched Thursdays because I thought I can watch the snippets.
But we've seen them.
YouTube, like they've broken up everything. So I've watched the fan postcards. I've seen a little bit of the reaction section, but I haven't actually sat down and watched all of the clips in the order that they decided they were in. But yeah, it just sort of felt weird.
For me, it was just not a good use of time.
Yeah.
Because primarily it was going to be the fans that were watching Tuesday and Thursday. And we've seen all that. We've been watching that since January. And I was a bit like, which is why I watched Tuesday and didn't watch Thursday. What did we think in the chat? Fan videos were fun, Marco says. Joshua, I don't know if you're saying crap to the semi-finals. If you were,
saying it to us.
I might actually agree. So yeah, if you want to let us know in the chat. So BBC said they were internally selected. And I thought, oh no, okay. Anyway, that's a different point, Will. Right. Yes. So just before our little bit wraps up, shall we look back at 2020 and let's try and find the positives. Let's try and find the good bits. Let's try and find our favourite bits. Yeah. So we end up on a bit more of a positive note.
Look, I think this year, as every year is, you start to sort of learn of different bands and artists and stuff thanks to Eurovision. And, I'm very thankful to have found Little Big, and I'm very thankful to have found The Roop and, and Duffy and all of those, just amazing artists that you can just go back into their back catalogue now and it's like, oh, wow, So I think that's one really good thing. Like, I haven't got the CD yet because I'm still waiting on more of the stuff that we ordered back in March. There's a customs problem. But I have got the actual, CD on my phone, and it's just really nice to actually have that memento now. Like it wasn't a complete write-off. Like we still actually have something physical and tangible to take from this year. And I'm just really excited, like the artists that have been retained for next year. I'm really excited to see what they do.
Yeah.
Because,
I was searching now the acts confirmed for the next year, and there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18 acts confirmed. So I think it's good because even if this year we really enjoy one song or not, I think they didn't have their time this year. And I'm sorry for the ones that even if I don't like their song this year, they're not returning. Because I don't know, I would feel really, really, really sad if I were one of them. So
did you see Ulrika's video?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was when she. Oh no! I'm sorry. It is absolutely. If you haven't, anyone in the chat, if you have not seen Ulrika's video of when she found out that basically she wasn't going to Eurovision. Oh God, it just absolutely breaks your heart. So I agree with you, Iago. I don't care whether I like their song or not. I just wanted them to be there next year. So. But
like I understand for a lot of the quite big national finals that, they're big ratings winners and all of that stuff in their particular countries. So I understand why they've done that, but it just, I don't know, like it's really hard to sort of watch some of these artists basically say, oh, well, I'm not going, or I'm not going to try again, or whatever. And it just gets you in the feels, because we've been on this ride with them. We got our first song in December, and we've been on this huge ride, and then all of a sudden they just don't get their shot. And, it's just, I just hope that we never have to do this again.
No, please.
Because it's been awful. Oh, please don't ever do it to us again.
So personal highlights. I think Italy. The mad thing for me is quite often we do our first reaction videos, and then by the time Eurovision actually comes along, I might have changed my mind and in either direction. So, quite often a song where I'll be like, this year, for me, my biggest surprise is probably Albania, because if you watch that first reaction video, I think it was our first reaction video this season. And I'm sitting there like this. It's doing nothing for me. Doing nothing for me. And yet this week, I'm like there going, I love Albania. Where did that come from? That's changed. However, Italy has not changed for me from first reaction to now. And then last night, him standing there all alone in Verona in that, what's it called? And like, I should be in Italy in 2 weeks' time seeing Tiziano Ferro, who I've wanted to see for years. I should be in Milan and staying in Bergamo in 2 weeks' time. And it just hit me that I'm not going to be in Italy. I'm not going to be listening to this music, these concert tickets that I booked 1 year ago. And I was just like, Diodato, he's stayed consistent for all those months for me. I still love the song. It's not changed. And please, please, please come back next year. I know San Remo can't change what San Remo is. It's freaking San Remo. But please, please give him a chance next year, please. So
for me, I think I'm still loving Bulgaria, the Bulgarian song "Tears Getting Sober." She's still my number one, and I'm really happy that she's coming back next year, because we know Bulgaria sometimes have some problems to come to Eurovision. So I'm happy they confirmed to come back, and also that Victoria is coming back too. Surprises for me, as you said, with Albania. It happened to me with Armenia, because I remember my reaction, and I was like, maybe I'm going to like this. And then I was like, oh. Now it could be like one of my favorite songs from the year. I don't remember the name of this girl. I mean, I cannot remember it, but I'm not gonna say it properly, so I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. But she replied me in Instagram, and she was like, "Oh, thank you for enjoying the song." And I was like, she didn't. I'm so happy that she didn't watch my reaction.
Maybe she has.
I hope she didn't. But that's something that happened with Eurovision, that maybe at the beginning you're like, I'm not kind of sure with this song, and you keep listening, and it's like, why I didn't enjoy this at the first time. So yeah.
Danie, have you done yours? You haven't, have you?
No, I made a joke last night that sometimes with Portugal, it takes me about 4 years after the contest to actually appreciate it. So I'm waiting for Portugal to kick in, and I know she will. It's been for me a very sort of even year. I've had my favourites, and they have stayed pretty much true. So it's your Icelands, your Russia, your Lithuania, your Germany, all of those kind of ones. But then I had in my scoreboard, because we all did a scoreboard and we all shared it, and we had all rankings and stuff like that. But like, I had a section of my scoreboard, and I just didn't know what to do with any of those songs. But now the thing is, my top 10 is still pretty locked in. But those sort of weird kind of 11 to maybe 30, I just love them even more now. And, you know, it gets really hard when you think about, you know, the what ifs and all of that stuff. But, you know, I think, especially for me being old, is that, you know, falling in love with sort of the synthy pop amazingness of Iceland, I think was my my highlight of the year. There's just something about that performance that just makes me so happy. And the same with Lithuania, especially, you know, the words and all that stuff. And also one song that has actually grown on me is Grow.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was sort of in my, I don't know where to place it, but, you know, every time it comes on now here, we have a sing-along, and it's just, there's so many songs in this year that really ended up speaking to me sort of after doing rankings and stuff like that, like Finland. I absolutely adore Finland.
I really like the song so much, and the lyrics.
And especially, you know, the whole theme of you never know what you've got until it's gone, really.
Please.
And that ended up being a theme of this Eurovision season.
Yeah.
So, look, there's been so many highlights, and, you know, I will always look back fondly at the songs that we had for 2020 because, you know, there was injustices and there's not much we can do about it. And all we can do is support these artists still, even though they didn't get the chance to shine.
I took part in the Eurovision heat map thing where you had to stream and stream and stream and stream. Going, I'm doing it for the artist. I'm doing it for the artist. I really hope that this, like, I don't know, whatever happens on Spotify, that it bumps them up, that they're trending or whatever. So I was doing it purely to support the artists because and I've said the whole time, I know Iago was very different at the start, so I'm not if he's changed his mind. I thought this was a brilliant year. I was exactly like you. There's like 5 songs maybe that I'd put right at the bottom, and then there was a massive wodge of songs that I like and enjoy. I may have over-listened in the last few days with all that streaming, but I was just like, where is this going to go, and who would actually win? And it's so mad that we'll never actually know. But
yeah, we'll never know. You can just have your own. You can have your winner now, and that's your winner.
I've got about 5.
Yeah, look, I've got a few too.
Maybe we can share before we go some of the highlights in the comment section that I'm reading, and there are some really good ones. Sorry for the name pronunciations, but for example, Odran Horgan that said that my personal highlight of this year is seeing how the Eurovision community is actually got closer than ever before. I agree. I mean,
correct.
This is the most important thing, I think.
And there's one there saying, Marco says the home concerts and the hangouts. So I'm really happy to be put in the same sentence as the home concert because I don't know if I really enjoyed the home concerts.
The home concerts were great.
Yeah,
they were just so much fun.
They do similar behind the scenes things. They won't necessarily be home concerts, but it'd be nice to have some of that behind the scene things next year. I really like that. So all the songs are on Spotify now, so please support the artists. I've been playing my part. I was number 42 in the end, so I'm quite proud of that.
Out of how many, Katie?
Oh, I didn't scroll down. I didn't bother. I only ever scrolled up. I had nearly 1,000 plays of songs.
Wow, that's commitment.
Yeah. My kids were like, can we play something else? And I'm like, no. There's only one Spotify account and it's got to be playing this.
I'm also happy that, I don't know if this is 100% real, but Eurovision is happening. So I think at least we're having a little taste of Eurovision this year. I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm happy that they confirmed it last night.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And just one final thing that I've got from this season, because at the start of this season, and I think, Danie, you may be a bit like me, we're not that international finals, are we, really?
Yeah.
There's a couple of reasons. One, I just don't have the time. Sorry, guys. I've got kids and I've got parents and I've got a dog and I've got a job and I just don't have any more time to deal with it on top of Eurovision itself. I know that's an excuse, but I don't. But also because you fall in love with a song and it actually breaks your heart that it doesn't even make it there and it's a brilliant song. So there's 2 reasons. However, this year, Miceal introduced me to Melody Festivalen properly. And I have to say, I'm there next year. So that's one of the highlights of this season, because when he first introduced me, I was like, that's all right. They're all on my 2020 playlist. So thank you very much for introducing me to that national final. I'm there now. I am sold. And I think, anything else quickly to say? Because our time is up.
Got to think we're done.
Our time's up.
That was fun, and I can go to bed now.
Yeah. I might just join the chat now so that I can actually answer some things that might have come up. And
yeah, I'm going to join the chat too.
Yeah, but thanks for joining us. Stay with us. We're still going to be doing stuff, aren't we? So
yeah, we're not going anywhere.
We don't stop.
2021 starts now.
Yay!
Do we just sit?
Finally.
I don't know. Do we get like kicked out? What happens? Does the light just switch off, or? Hey!
Like a relay race. Here go, here's the baton.
Hairbrush.
All right,
Okay.
Muted.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Love you.
Hello.
And then there were three. Hello. Hello.
Hey.
Now, Miko, where is it?
What?
Where is it? Where is it?
Maybe for the next video to be a total surprise. Let's keep it, guys, watch out. For the next videos, we're gonna have some surprise. My alter ego is going to be there.
Oh, I love all forms of Miko. If you haven't been watching recent Eurovision videos, Eurovision Hub videos with Miko in them, please go and check them out, particularly the Bosnian one. The detail. It's amazing. Anyway, hello everybody. Welcome to the next segment of the Hangout. I'm here, Louise. Miko from Armenia is here. Hello.
Hello.
Toon, my friend in Belgium. Hello,
Hey.
hello. Good to have you all here. Well, I think we're going to continue on the same vein from Katie and Danie and Iago. Thank you to those guys for such a fun start to our mini marathon hangout today. And we are going to discuss Shine a Light and the end of the 2020 season from last night. Now, I know there's a lot of mixed feelings amongst the community about the show. Is there any highlight for you guys, or is there anything you particularly liked?
No.
Tell us how you really feel.
I mean, I didn't dislike anything was happening there. Like, it was really nice, everything. But was I
Okay.
don't know, surprised? Was I interested? Was I looking every minute? No, it was more like a background stuff. Sadly, this is how I felt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that. I was talking to various people and I was just saying how, you know, like in an average Eurovision year when it finishes and you have that kind of that grief or that feeling of, oh, it's finished for another year. I guess we've had, kind of, as Danie said, yeah, we've had like a long grieving process. Like it should be, you know, it should be something that's short, but we've had it for like 2 months. So it was just a weird one. Toon, did you have any personal highlights from last night, or what did you think?
Yes. You can do it.
What? What? Excuse me, I didn't hear the question.
So Louise was asking, what's your opinion from the show for the last night?
Thank you.
I like the I like the show, especially like What's Another Year, like the beginning, which was so touching to me, to be quite honest. And also, it's so corny, but like when the monuments lit up, I started crying when they showed the monuments from everywhere around Europe and like Australia and like the rest. It was like I just started crying. Like, but yeah, well, I mean, there's one thing in particular that I didn't like.
Tell us.
Like in the especially the representatives, it's kind of, I mean, wasn't really fun not seeing them. The only thing we saw was Luca doing this, but she didn't sing. She wasn't allowed to sing by the leader of the group, apparently. So I kind of felt bad about that. But yeah, well, I mean, it's Wikipedia. All Eurovision participants apart from Hooverphonic, which is just weird for me to see.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That is as it kind of feels like it goes against the spirit of it all.
Yeah, exactly. Like his excuse was like, I didn't sign up for this, but I mean, you kind of did. It's more than just a competition. It's about the music and celebrating each other. So it's like, but,
We'll have to keep an eye with how that progresses for next year, for sure.
Yeah.
In terms of last night, I actually loved Ein bisschen Frieden with Ilsa and Miceal. They're not two people I would have ever thought to put together, but then when it was done, it was just so beautiful. I loved that. But I don't know, I think Katie was saying in the earlier segment, and I kind of maybe echo what she was saying in that it was just maybe a hard watch because it just having the 2020 artists have such little time on the big night, the Saturday night, just felt strange to me. And there was an awful lot of nostalgia, and I feel maybe they should have put the nostalgia to Tuesday and Thursday's shows and given us more of the 2020 content on the Saturday. But I guess we're lucky to have had anything at all. Did you guys see Germany and Australia's performances of how they imagined it would have been for the actual show?
I didn't.
Germany's one slapped, just saying.
I saw the performances, and for example, like, I mean, Germany's, it was nice, but in my opinion, he kind of lacked some energy. His vocals were fine, but like, it kind of lacked some energy the way, like, his stage presence, you know what I mean? But I mean, it's not a time for me to criticize anything, because like, I'm just happy I saw him performing, because it's the closest I'm getting to Eurovision at this moment. So I'm happy about it. I'll take anything. I'll take anything. So I really like
Give
it.
us something.
Like, especially Italy. Oh my god.
Don't. I'm gonna start crying again. You guys saw my selfie last night when I that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, the tears, man, the tears.
Sorry. For me, it was very interesting to watch when the participants were talking. So when they were having the messages, right? It was very interesting to analyze how they feel at that point, of course, when they made the video, because some of them, at least they looked like they were okay. They kind of accepted the idea and they kind of moved on and everything. But some of them, I mean, they didn't move on. You could feel that they were not okay with that. Yeah. So
that's such a fair point. It was just it was such a weird tone for Eurovision. It was too somber, too, I don't know, not full of the excitement and the energy that we're used to having. It was just, it's a one-off year. It's never going to happen again. All going well.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully, for sure. Just checking in with the chat, and a lot of people loved Ein bisschen Frieden, Molitva, talking about Australia's staging was really thoughtful and impactful. If Montaigne's vocals were good, I feel like Australia could have been one to watch. Yeah, for sure.
Guys, I'm gonna reconnect very fast because
sure.
I'm having troubles with my Wi-Fi, so I'm gonna
technical issues.
reconnect.
No worries, my dear. See you in a minute. But
and I also basically understood. I understood that taking away the whole voting process basically that's where we get the more the excitement part, the voting part.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't have this voting part, I mean, the whole energy of the show is really dropping a lot.
Yeah, you're kind of there. What are we listening for nearly, you know, or what? It's like you're waiting for something that's not going to come.
Yeah.
And it's just an anticlimax in that sense. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Did you guys in your countries have, like, did your broadcasters have any shows on around Shine a Light, or what kind of coverage did you have?
Well, I'm in Lithuania, so I didn't watch. I don't watch TV. I don't know if they did something or not in Lithuania, but also I was not much interested because, you know, the Lithuanian language is a hard language to understand. So yeah, I was not much into that. Actually,
It's on YouTube.
I was not much into watching what actually the different countries of their broadcasting something, because I understand of the need. I understand the trying to reproduce the experience, trying to replace with something. It's a very nice idea, but for me, it just kind of disappeared. I don't know, it just lost the power of it, the excitement and the energy. And it's very nice to try to reproduce that and kind of do something similar, but there were so many that I couldn't even keep up with all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't happy that they were only getting 30-second snippets, but obviously I understand, like, having 41 3-minute segments is also very long. So I guess maybe there was not many ways to do it and keep everybody happy. But it was what it was. It happened. Hopefully we'll never, you know, miss out on a voting sequence or anything again, all going well. I found it hard as well. What did you guys think of, like, you know, you'd see someone on, like, you'd see Stefania or somebody who's been confirmed for next year, and then it would switch to, like, Leslie Roy or the Mamas, and I just think, oh, you know, you're not confirmed, or we might not be getting you back at all.
The person I'm most having trouble with watching, I mean, I think it's bad for every artist, but when I see Ulrika, I just crumble. Seeing her just makes my heart break, because that's just how it is. Like, when I see her, I'm like, damn, she wanted to go so desperately and she's not going. It's just hurtful. Yeah.
Katie was talking.
I mean, no, you go on.
So Katie was talking in the previous minutes that there is a video on YouTube regarding Ulrike, the representative of Norway, the cute girl, and that was my favorite after Iceland. Her reaction when she found out that actually Eurovision is cancelled, and she saw that that's dramatic. So I'm just gonna let Katie know that I'm not gonna watch that. I don't need that because I love that song so much. But definitely, I feel like having some dramatic moment. That's going to be the first video I'm going to watch. Just saying.
She did an entire web series. Miceal was recommending it. He'll probably talk about it when he's on. Apparently, it's very good. It was about, like, her road to Rotterdam and how much she wanted it and the ups and the downs. And it's just hard to imagine. But I mean, I don't want to sit here and start, like, calling broadcasters out. But I mean, okay, Sanremo, it might get delayed anyway because of the pandemic. So Sanremo's huge in Italy anyway. So just give Diodato first refusal. Give him first refusal if he wants to go. Do Sanremo anyway. The contestants won't mind. They'll be so happy that they're in Sanremo. Melody Festival, and I don't know. Okay, it's huge. I get it. But give Mamas first refusal, and then just do a different Melfest for 1 year where it's like, we're going to do, like, an all-star Melfest. We're going to invite Mariette, Robin Bankston, all these people. And if you win, you get this sum of money to go to your favorite charity or something. And it's not Eurovision based for 1 year. Because just in my mind, it's just, like, morally wrong. Like, that person earned their right to go. And now because of something that's so out of their control, they're just not getting their moment. It's just,
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't know. It's wrong. It upsets me. It
I had
upsets
the
me greatly.
same feeling with Sanremo as well, to be quite honest. Because I mean, Sanremo was like existed before Eurovision, and winning it isn't automatically connected by going to Eurovision. So like,
Yeah.
it will be a big thing in Italy anyway. Like, I'm not saying they don't care, but there will, like, if it's not connected to Eurovision, great artists will apply for Sanremo anyway. Like, they will just go.
Yeah.
That's
Sure.
so I feel like just San Diodato, like he wanted to go so desperately. So
I
yeah.
really wanted to go. I love him. Oh, so upsetting. But moving on from that to maybe looking at the more positive side of things, I think it would be good to maybe reflect back on this interesting 2020 season. And if we could all share even just our personal highlights, what was your, I don't know, maybe your favorite national final, your favorite result, favorite event, what stood out for you guys personally this year?
All right, so I'll go. I was just asking myself, I was just trying to remember what were the songs that I was mostly listening in this period. Even though I knew that the Eurovision is cancelled and everything, I would just wanted to see without having the rehearsals, without having the tours, of the artists, like from the actual Eurovision. What were the songs that they made me still listen then, even though I knew that everything is cancelled? And basically, they're the ones that I was still into it, and that was Iceland. So Iceland, I was listening every time I wanted to be happy and just to be playful, childish, and just to be full of energy. If I wanted to dance like crazy and feel like a diva, then it was Israel. That was my time. That was. And if I wanted to cry, then it was Norway. So they were still my favorite ones, listening them over and over again. Yeah.
Oh, all the emotions. What about you, Toon?
I mean, for me, like, not looking at the songs, my highlight for this season was just joining the Twitter fandom in general and joining Eurovision Hub. Like, has been my highlight. I've been so welcomed by everyone. It was my first season, like, on social media being in Eurovision, and I enjoyed it so much. It just meant so much to me. And like, I will never forget this year. I don't think a lot of people will forget this year. But in general, like, even if Eurovision would have happened, this year was so special to me, and I'm just grateful for everything. Like, I'm still happy in a way. Like, I try to look at the positive things. Yeah. That's just.
And we are
but
so
like,
happy.
But I mean, if I look at the songs, I think it's just Little Big being announced for Russia is my absolute highlight. I went crazy because I sent my best friend like some days beforehand. I sent her a message like, "Prayer circle for Little Big for Russia." I didn't even think that it would happen, and then several days later they announced them. I was going nuts. I was.
It makes such a difference when like you have a connection to an artist before, because I know that you did, Toon, with Little Big, so that is super special. And your other highlight probably Israel's. Israel one of your favorites, and Sweden.
Yeah.
Right?
Watching the Mamas win was just like, because they weren't like even my winners right before the final, and I watched her final performance and I was like, well, maybe they're just gonna win. Like, I was like, they're gonna win. So I was happy. Yeah, I was really happy when he won. Like, I teared up. And then for Israel, I love Fickerly B and I was super happy Fickerly B won. But like, listening back to all the songs, I feel like I'm kind of leaning more towards the roots. But like, let's not tell anyone.
Interesting.
Like,
It'll be cool to see what
now.
you comes up with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I hope there's a great selection for Eden next year.
Yeah,
for me
I mean,
personally, no, go on.
The writer of Fickerly B and also Toy is not writing for next year. That's something we already know. So I'm kind of sad about that because he comes up with a lot of unique songs, but
yeah, hopefully somebody else will step in
I think
and pull it out of the bag.
that it's also the same person who is doing them. Like they are interesting, unique, but you can also see. I mean, it's still having kind of the same style of making.
Yeah.
Very rich instrumentals, traditional, modern, but it's kind of the same person. You can see the same person behind it. Yeah. Okay, Louise, go for
Oh,
it.
there'll be so much. There will be so much to look forward to next year. Truly, I like if I was to give an exact list of my highlights, like I would need my own like 3 hour long hangout because there's just been kind of as Toon said, there's just been so many. Despite the cancellation and everything, it's been such a good season and such a good year. I mean, I've harped on about my favorites for long enough: Italy, Germany, Sweden, Ireland. But my highlights have actually been things kind of surrounding friendships within the community and online. And I mean, firstly, going to Australia Decides at the Gold Coast was amazing. Being in Australia, meeting Leonie, getting to hang out with Danie all the time. That was just super cool. Getting to meet Australian fans who I chatted to on Twitter and getting to see them in person. Having Leslie Roy as our artist this year. I mean, I know the Irish fans are very vocal about it on Twitter, but she's just been so good to us and just so kind. I see Adam has said Leslie Roy is a person. Yeah, basically Leslie is a bullet point in her own, really. And just being so caring towards the fans, hopping on our Zoom calls, doing like private DJ sets for us, bringing us closer together as a group. That like I just think that's so in the spirit of the contest, and I love it.
Yeah.
And RTE, you need to send her next year. I'm calling you out. And also just to echo Toon, just the Eurovision Hub squad and getting to know each other and expanding the team and starting the hangouts and just all the fun stuff that has come with it has just been amazing. It's been a great season, albeit a weird one.
Yeah.
But looking forward to 2021, it's going to be cool to see how, you know, we're going to have a pretty quiet national final season.
I mean, pretty quiet though. Like, do we know? There can still be like Israel did or Romania did. So
yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Really, yeah, I'm hoping that broadcasters will do that.
yeah.
But it remains to be seen. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it.
What about the songs
Yeah.
that you're listening? Are there any songs that you are kind of on repeat?
Oh, many. Fire More.
All of
Sorry,
them.
his performance. The Verona Arena performance of Fire More, like just put that on loop throughout my life. Honestly, it's beautiful. Germany, Sweden. Kind of the ones I've said. Israel. What about you guys?
Yeah, basically Iceland, Israel, and Norway for me.
Yeah, for me it's just Russia, like on a loop constantly, and Israel as well. I just love Fikirli B so much. It's my top two, Russia and Israel, and for me it has never been so tight. But I've also never been so certain of my winners. Like I've switched around some years, but I know in 2020 it would have been Israel or Russia. Period. Like, and that's it. They would have won for me. Just so it kind of, yeah. These two songs are just I love them. They're special to me in a way. So yeah.
What were your biggest growers?
No, you go this time.
Sorry,
Me?
I was just going to ask, what are your favorite growers? Both of you.
For me, Grow by the Netherlands is my.
It grew on you.
Yeah, I was like kind of mad about that song, but it's just in a way so simple and touching, and it just watching him live as well, it just changed it for me because they released a studio version. I mean, I listened to the studio version first and I was like, okay, but when I saw him perform it live, God, I started sobbing and it was so beautiful. But another song that really grew on me is Spain. And I used to really not like that song, but it grew on me. I still do not really like the high note in the song. I think the transition is a bit but the song overall, I started liking. Yeah, it's super catchy, and I find myself sometimes being in my bed, going to sleep, and be like, universo. I'm like, yeah.
Also, sending love to Blast Canto during this time.
Oh yeah.
For sure. What about you, Miko?
There is one song because I just realized I didn't talk about it, but basically because the reason is that I'm avoiding this song. I don't want to listen this song. I don't want to access it. It's Grow from the Netherlands. I think this is, I don't know, I personally feel it's so deep, but like in a very, very honest and very meaningful way that I cannot listen this song. It's like, if I listen, I know it's just like breaking all the walls, breaking everything. It's like nothing is left, like explosion. So it's a song I cannot, I want to, I love it, but every time I listen, it's just like tears, like river, ocean. And I feel different when I listen to this song. So it's like, I'm avoiding that song just because of these very strong feelings. Some other song that grew on me, Russia, yes, but I liked it from the beginning also. And a song actually that I think I listened just 2 times in my life, it's Portugal. It just didn't make me listen it. I think that's the song that I listened it 2 times and I like, okay, I don't like it, and that's it. I don't know why. Yeah.
There's been a lot of growers I found. Denmark was middling for me and is now up my 6th, somewhere around there. Ooh. I don't know, is it the subliminal messaging in the lyrics? Say yes, say yes.
So one I should mention as well, because Ireland, there was a grower for me as well. Like it's like hanging around my top 10, 11. It's like it's up there. It's going up and up. Yeah, I it was really.
He had to make a cameo on a Hangout. I'm sorry. Continue.
Wow.
Yeah.
Irlande du Spa.
Irlande du Spa. I'm so sorry, Toon.
Oh, that was...
No, it's amazing. It's amazing. Don't worry. No, I really, yeah, the song was just a grower for me. I tend to listen to it more and more every week. So.
Love that. Love that. Love for Leslie. Hashtag love for Leslie. Leslie for 2021. Yes, but in terms of my growers, yeah, the Denmark and Miko, you were mentioning Tears, and that made me think of Tears Getting Sober because I wasn't the biggest fan to start off with, but really grew on me. I like the kind of Disney vibe. I don't know if I would have wanted it to win though, but I would have liked Bulgaria to have done well with it. So Danie says Lou dancing in my kitchen to Denmark was highlight. Just stuff like that. I think that was the day Denmark got released, and I went to Danie's house and I was like, we're having strawberries. I was just in her kitchen chopping the strawberries, singing "Say Yes, Say Yes, Say Yes" over and over and over. Danie's poor cats were like, "Stop it! Stop singing that song." Oh goodness! Well, it's really been an amazing season, but a strange season. But we're going to be here with more stuff coming out soon, and stay tuned. Stay tuned as we go into 2021. Happy Eurovision New Year. Can't believe it. I think we are going to pop off in a minute. We're just going to check in with the chat maybe before we go. We've got Leslie for 2021. What else do we have? Just lots of love, Leslie. Poland, a grower. Slovenia and Croatia.
Slovenia, yeah.
Yes, definitely.
I like
that for sure. For sure. Let's see what else. Empires, Universo, you. What do you guys think of you actually, Miceal?
About what?
You, North Macedonia.
Also.
Yeah, I mean, I liked when it came out because of the instrumental. Like sometimes some parts were very tempting and like, oh, made me want to dance. But then it was just like going flat sometimes. You know, it's like it's weird because like I love when songs go up, like they start not that good and then they go better. But like with North Macedonia, I had the feeling it was more like. But I liked the vibe of the song, so I'm excited to see if is he coming back next year. I'm not sure. Is he confirmed?
I don't think
Not
so.
confirmed. No.
Oh, but if he comes back, I'm excited to see what he does. But if
Well,
we'll see.
He
talking about-
should. He should come back.
yeah, he's a very charismatic person. Like I like his energy. He's very smiling. He's really cool. He's very friendly. So yeah, I would definitely love to see him. But talking about Macedonia, I am curious because when I think about Macedonia, actually, I think more about junior Eurovision contest than actually the proper one. Because in the junior Eurovision contest, they have so many nice songs. They have amazing songs. So this maybe could be another short topic to talk before the other colleagues will come over. What do you think about junior Eurovision? Do you think it might be yes, maybe not? Say yes, say yes.
I think it might be cancelled. I think it's going to be. I'm not sure, but I hope it's not. But
Okay.
I don't know where the sources came from, but I did see people saying online that Poland are planning it in such a way that no matter what the circumstance is, that it will still go ahead.
yeah,
Which to me makes sense because I understand with Eurovision this year, like we obviously didn't expect this to happen. So it was
yeah.
kind of halfway towards the end of national final season, they had to make that decision. Whereas if from the offset with junior Eurovision, they say to the broadcasters, look, you might not be able to come to Poland. You might have to like send us a satellite video. That
But
might be the case.
also, the thing with that also is it was the first time in a lot of years Netherlands got to host. So doing studio shows was hard. It's been a year for Poland to host. So doing it per studio, Poland might be like, we're fine with it. They might be totally fine with it and be like, host, like just do it in studios. We did it last year anyway. So I see, I mean.
That's a good point, actually, yeah. But Poland might just feel, I love how I'm speaking for Poland, for the entire nation. I imagine maybe the Polish broadcaster is, yeah, as you said, like we posted it, we had our turn, we just wanted to go ahead so that it's fine if it's in studios. And also somebody, I think one of my Irish friends brought up the point last night that it could be a good dry run if on the off chance there's stuff going on next year. I'm not jinxing anything or, you know, or if it were just different circumstances any other year, it would just be good to see how that could work. But I strongly think it will happen because I don't think they would have announced on the big Shine a Light show, oh, it's coming to Warsaw and here's our slogan, if they didn't really think it was going to go ahead, you know?
No.
But I think it's going to be the junior Eurovision contest if they want to do it online and everything, because you know, for the big one it was like shocking. It was like we need to take decisions now. You know, there's a lot of money, there's a lot of process. You cannot just play with it, and of course it's a bigger contest and there's more a lot of things involved in that. But now for junior until November, I think they can figure it out something. I hope they're not gonna cancel it because I love junior Eurovision. I'm still listening more than the
and
yeah,
it's also I don't want the children to be like, oh, we're going to Eurovision and then it get cancelled. Like their kids, don't do that to them. Like don't even dare, like plan it ahead. I want them to plan it ahead very, very good because like they're kids. It's totally different. Like
totally agree.
Drama because the songs are not yet, you know, the artists and the songs are not chosen as I know, as I remember. So, yeah, hopefully it's going to be okay.
Yeah, I think Emil, I'm thinking about Emil because he's about to come on the Hangout. Miko, it makes sense that you're such a junior Eurovision fan because Armenia are so good at junior Eurovision.
Yeah, but many countries are better there than actually the proper Eurovision, like Macedonia. They're sending amazing songs. Wow. And Serbia is having so many nice ballads in Junior Eurovision. Yeah, I don't know. I just, I don't know.
Yeah. And Poland and Spain are much better at the junior.
Yes, and Spain. Yes, as Sandra is telling us in the group chat. Yes, Sandra, you're right. And also Spain. Last year, Spain's entry was amazing. Like, wow, girl. You can.
Another thing I often think about with junior is the fact Kazakhstan is in it.
Mm-hmm.
What is there with junior and adult? I mean, are Kazakhstan...
We cannot hear you.
Hello. Louise, hello.
I'm sorry. I think I cut out briefly. Did I?
Yeah.
Again.
Sorry. I was just saying in terms of junior, I always think about Kazakhstan. And what is the story with them being in junior and not adult? Like, are they just there to fill a space in junior, to fill numbers? Or is it actually a stepping stone to them coming?
I think it's filling numbers.
Yeah.
But I hope it's a stepping stone. Like, I hope. But
yeah,
I don't think so.
But also,
I hope so.
There is not a United Kingdom. It's separate. We have Wales from UK, for example. So Wales is participating different. So they're trying to to play to see how it works. Probably.
I am here for it because if Scotland enters Junior Eurovision, I will be spam voting for Scotland. My Celtic cousins.
I mean, they said we're coming.
Scottish.
They said we're coming back bigger than ever. So
yeah,
we shall see. Well,
then Corona happens, so destroying all the fans.
Miss Rona.
Yeah.
Oh, Miss Rona. Ruining all of our plans. Really, really is. Oh, Iago's just spamming the chat with Spain.
Yeah. But it's still amazing
Spain.
that we each other here. We have on the platform where we make a lot of nice videos for you guys also. So subscribe, like, all these things so you keep up with the Eurovision atmosphere and the mood. We have a lot of games that you already posting on the channel. We're going to have new ones, new reactions for all the entries. So this is personally me also energetic a little bit, it's fun. Let's go crazy. So yeah, I think
I'm so ready for 2021 season. It's gonna be the season I'm gonna meet every one of you guys, meet most of you guys, and maybe people who are like watching as well. Like if you're going to Rotterdam next year and I see you, just like holla at me and I'm coming. Like I'm coming to you. I'm so excited for this. I'm just gonna be like, hey, and I'm gonna try to go to every pre-party. I don't care. I'm gonna take a plane. I'm gonna take a boat. I'm gonna take a train. I'm going everywhere.
There was a suggestion amongst another group of fans recently that like you could get together as a group and rent like a big RV, like a big bus, and just drive around together. Be like, oh, we got to London this weekend, Amsterdam the next weekend, Madrid another weekend. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Road trip.
But something really fun to be to have Eurovision not in May but earlier. This would be like a bam surprise to have Eurovision in spring, just because it was postponed. Each time having it in March or I don't know, April.
Yeah, would be cool. Yeah.
Someone says in 2022 when it's in Dublin, I will. Same. It needs to come back to Dublin though. It's Eurovision's spiritual home. It's truly where it belongs. Like I know Stockholm is, in contention, definitely, but Dublin. Come back to Dublin. Come back to my homeland, please. Please, please, please.
Come on, let other countries win also, like Armenia. We didn't win anything, okay? Just let us something. Don't take all the trophies.
Okay, what I can offer you is in 2022 when we host, I'll pull some strings and maybe Armenia can have its turn then. Is that okay?
Deal.
I just have this thing. It's like Sweden are hot on our heels and they're so good. They're going to be on 8 wins pretty soon and we're not going to be the best anymore. Maybe we just need to send this guy.
Oh my God, that one again.
Not again.
I can't believe you did two cameos. 2 cameos.
He's just hilarious.
I love him. He's 20 years old, you know.
Hmm.
Almost as old as
You're-
I am.
Don't make me feel old. Come on.
Exactly. I'm going to sign for the pension soon, so
Me too. Me too, Miko. We can go for coffee after we started the pension line.
we could go to pharmacy or something, you know. going travel with the bus, you know, staying in long lines.
Free travel. The two of us standing in the pension line together, listening to Uno. I can see it.
In Eurovision. Woo!
Oh. And there's now a discussion in the chat about which city it will be hosted in. Actually, what would your dream city be for Eurovision? Anywhere in Europe. Where would I think Galway.
Which one?
Galway. It's like the 3rd biggest city in Ireland.
Okay.
Very cultural, very beautiful.
Okay. I
What
think
do
I
you
would
guys
choose
think?
Montenegro. I would choose Montenegro, but not in the capital. But I would choose. They have some very amazing areas like Kotor. It's one of them where they have the mountain and the sea and everything.
Ooh,
Like,
yeah.
oh yeah, go and check Montenegro. For me, it just surprised me. I never thought that that place exists. I was like, okay, Montenegro, okay, they have mountains. No, they have everything. It's amazing. You should go and check Montenegro. So yes, it's just beautiful. It's like hidden paradise. So that would be one of my places. I would love to be there. It's like the cheap version of Tel Aviv, if you want.
Mm.
It's good.
What about you, Joan?
For me, it would be Milan. Like obviously, Milan. Just
Oof.
Italy. Yeah, definitely.
When Diodato goes back and wins, we'll bring it to Milan.
Hopefully.
Well, I think we should finish on that note. Hopefully we'll see all of you guys soon in Galway or in Montenegro or in Milan, maybe, all going well. But if not, definitely see you in Rotterdam, all going well, next year. And thank you guys for a great season. Take care and lots of love. We're going to sign off now and let the next crew come on. We're going to have Miceal,
Bye.
Sandra, Joan, and Emil. Bye.
Hey everyone.
Hi everyone.
Hey.
Hey chat.
Hello.
How are you? Hey Joan, Sandra, and Emil. How are you guys?
We're great, thank you. How are you?
I have to look at you like that.
Oh, has his camera turned?
Well,
Hey,
at least on my side.
I'm
Hey,
really sorry,
everybody.
guys. I'm confused timing between UK and Azerbaijan.
it's fine. Don't worry. Don't worry.
But-
Guys, how are we feeling? Like, hey everyone. Hey, like, how do you feel after like? I feel like the climax happened, and now it's like, oh, like
I feel much better.
really?
Yeah, yesterday was a very sad day. So it's very nice to have buried this Eurovision 2020, this not Eurovision 2020, and start over with the 2021 season.
Yeah. Can we just talk and pause for Sandra's fringe right now? Like, you know, tell them before we go live, we're waiting like in a little area of this website, and I was like, oh my god, Sandra, your hair, yes, fringe. So this is a house where we stand Sandra's.
Well, I have to give credit where credit's due. This is
we can't hear
my
you, Sandra.
husband's work. My husband's work, everybody. This is our quarantine hair salon. If anybody wants, a haircut, you can talk to my husband and he'll see if he can fit you in his schedule.
We stand Sandra's husband.
We do.
Am
Hey,
I the only one who can't hear Sandra?
Oh,
I think
yeah,
so.
I guess.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh no,
Maybe if you
Emil.
like, maybe you can log in and log out or something. Or
Yeah.
Okay, just
Sandra
I'm
is
gonna do
someone
it
you
now.
want to hear. The woman with great.
I am the president
Just a
after all.
second.
Hello.
They are saying in the chat that you look like Vicky Gabor. That's a very beautiful thing to be told.
Can you remind me who that?
The winner of Junior Eurovision last year.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. She's pretty. She's cute.
Yeah, but Sandra, how are you feeling like now that Europe Shine a Light has happened? You know, do you feel like relieved, or do you feel even more like depressed, or what's the crack?
I was taken aback by the tone they decided to go with. It made me. I don't know if they were trying. Okay, great. I don't know if they were trying to make us feel more depressed. I thought that they were gonna go with, hey everybody, oh we're good, let's yeah, have some fun. But they went in the total opposite direction. And it was very somber, like some of the other reactors already mentioned, and I was just surprised by it. I was emotional, not so much for Eurovision, but just seeing the reality that the world is in right now. That was, I think, actually the quarantine just hit me yesterday because of Shine a Light. And I don't know if it was shining a light as much as it was turning off lights, I guess. I don't know.
We said this yesterday, didn't we? Like, I wrote into the group chat, I was like, guys, the buildings are making me cry. What is wrong with me?
Yeah.
What a touching of this, like, reality just hit us, didn't it?
Yeah. The whole I think the whole Corona mess hit me yesterday. Like, for reals, you know?
I think, like, those songs took on a new meaning yesterday. You know, Mollifa in the streets with the empty streets of Belgrade, Heroes in his garden. Everything just took on a new meaning. What about you, Emil? How are you feeling after what would have been the final?
Well, actually, I have like a dilemma about the yesterday's show. Like the same as Sandra, I was expecting something, a bit positive, and like motivating everyone that it's soon gonna be over and we're gonna get back. But I understand that. But during the show, while I was watching it, I really like get back to the quarantine time like twice, and yeah, it was a bit depressing, to be honest. But I understand that the situation is still not over in Europe, and they can do something very positive, as there are people dying and the virus is still going on. And but overall I liked how they actually did it. So yeah, I have positive feelings about it.
Yeah.
And by the way, congratulations all of you. Today is the first day that we get in Eurovision 2021 edition.
Cheers to the season.
Yeah, so I hope it's gonna be, it's gonna be good, and we're gonna see each other next year in Rotterdam again.
I would love.
Because it can't get any worse.
And it literally can. I heard Katie bringing this up in the first part of the Hangout, and she said, like, do we think that the EBU made good use of timing in the semi-final, like, times, like the Tuesdays and Thursdays? You're shaking your head, Joan. Do you want to kick us off?
I'm sorry to be a hater or the most negative person now about the yesterday show, but I feel like it was a complete mess. It was a nonsense. I mean, it was supposed to be a tribute to the songs, and we got 30 seconds from each song and minutes of previous Eurovision artists who already had their time. So I didn't feel like it was a tribute. I didn't feel like it was a celebration. To me, it was more like a funeral. The whole show for me was a mess. And I'm also angry. This week has been a roller coaster of emotions for me because I still genuinely think that the Eurovision 2020 could have happened. Not in as every year with an audience and all the contestants in Rotterdam, but we could have had an online contest, whatever. We've seen a lot of shows throughout Europe this week with the videos, with live performances from each country. So I still think that the Eurovision 2020 could have happened instead of being cancelled. And the show that they pulled off yesterday, it wasn't. No, I can't say anything positive about it apart from the moment where the buildings are light up, which was very beautiful, and the ending with all the contestants, almost all the contestants singing "Love Shine a Light." That's the only thing that I liked. The rest of the show, no. I'm sorry, but.
Sandra, what about you? Do you think it was like good use of time?
Well, Joan is right in that I can hear myself. It's a bit distracting. That the artists from this year actually got very little time, and this was the night where most of the people heard those songs for the first time. It wasn't the semifinal nights, but it's always the Saturday. And oh, we lost Emil.
He's switching over to a different device.
Yeah, probably. And I think they weren't the centerpiece of last night, and that was not fair to the acts themselves. And they instead went for this repetitive message. Oh, it's Corona. Oh, it's so stay safe. Stay well. Okay, I mean we understand. We hear that over and over for 3 months now, and like we get it. It's Corona. It's quarantine. It's a mess. We get it. And this was. It was, I don't know, it was a sap fest, and the attention was misplaced, in my opinion, and it was not fair to the artists.
I think we didn't actually know what we were getting ourselves in for with the show last night. We didn't. There was like, oh, we're going to pay tribute, we're going to do something, but we were never really like told what to expect. We didn't know what was happening. So, I think it was Matt from ESC United tweeted something yesterday, which I completely agree with. He said that he feels maybe the show that maybe kind of misjudged the tone of what we maybe wanted. If I remember his tweet correctly, it was like, oh, maybe we wanted an escape with Eurovision last night. We didn't kind of want to relive the reality, because Eurovision for a lot of people is an escape anyway. You know, we go there to leave our normal lives behind, and we enter this spectacular world of like music and togetherness. And I think, you know, everything is very real anyway. So it was just, it made it more real, you know, if that makes sense. Like it didn't take us anywhere. It kind of just reminded us of the situation. But I do feel like they had a hard one as well, because if they completely ignored it, they would have got criticized, I can imagine, like, you know, so I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, they could have addressed it like in a 5-minute segment in the beginning. Oh, it's a different time. We had to cancel. Oh, that's so sad. You know, they could have had some video or whatever with messages about Corona. But then, you know, like every other, Jesus, sorry, I forgot English in quarantine. Like every 2 minutes, it was like, oh, it's stay safe, it's Corona, it's Corona. So it was more about Corona than it was about Eurovision, and I don't know. It's hard to ignore. I understand it's hard to ignore, but it could have been an escape rather than a funeral, as Joan said.
It was. Joan, I know that Iago earlier said that the Spanish broadcast didn't kind of give you guys a lot yesterday content-wise. What are your feelings on that?
I mean, the Spanish broadcaster is a mess. We all know that. And yesterday wasn't an exception. During the whole week, we didn't get any live show on TV. They did some shows on YouTube and on their website, which were also repetitive, not original, always the same, just to do something, but it wasn't something nice. And the expression of that was the building that was light up for Spain. Like they didn't put a lot of effort. Like we saw very beautiful landscapes all over Europe and Australia, and we got an ugly building, which is significant to us because it's the Teatro Real of Madrid, which was the only place in Spain that has hosted a Eurovision Song Contest. But we have so many beautiful places to show and to light up, and we got this building. It was like our broadcaster is not putting any effort on Eurovision, and yesterday wasn't an exception. We didn't even have a previous show before Eurovision Europe Shine a Light, and not even afterwards. And I was seeing in the group chat that the BBC and other broadcasters were having very beautiful and very well put together shows, and we didn't, but we are used to that. So
actually, I think like those countries that put on small shows for Eurovision, like Germany, I don't know, Norway. I think they did something. I think they did a better job at providing like a happy kind of little show and entertainment than Shine a Light did.
yeah, indeed.
And
I so agree with that.
I saw that the game show that we have like in the UK and Ireland, it's called Pointless. It's on the BBC. That got more viewers than the actual Europe Shine a Light show. And I was like, oh, like that was a shock for me because believe it or not, in the UK, the contest is loved and it's watched by millions like every year. So
Same here.
Yeah, so to see that a game show got more viewers than Shine a Light, I was like, oh, interesting. But Sandra, in North Macedonia, what was the scheduling like? What were you guys given content-wise? I know you're in Germany now, but do you know? Do you have any idea?
No, not any idea, no.
Let's check in with Emil. Emil, in Azerbaijan, what was the TV scheduling like? Did you guys get a lot of shows this week?
I have trouble hearing you, Miceal.
Oh,
can you repeat it?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now, yeah.
Okay. In Azerbaijan, what was the TV scheduling like this week? Did you guys have a lot of like documentaries or shows leading up to it?
I was actually surprised that our national broadcaster, ITV, they are hosting Eurovision like every year since 2008. They actually didn't do anything. Like I was expecting for some, documentaries about our previous Eurovision singers. We just had for hour and a half the Eurovision concert the day before on ITV, and that was all. So
wow.
Yeah, but we had a morning TV show, which is like they invited our winners, Eldar and Nike from 2011, and yeah, they were just talking about the Eurovision and the quarantine that it got canceled this year. Yeah, that was all about it.
Yeah, well, at least we had one good thing. It was the confirmation of Rotterdam 2021, which officially marks the start of a new season. But
yeah,
I'm not ready to go into it yet. You guys can agree or disagree, but I just need a little break. But hear me out. I need just a little. Like, I'm actually thinking about going to my holiday home this weekend. This week to chill out because I just feel like because of the cancellation of the contest, we've been like to make up for the cancellation. We've been saturated with content, which is fantastic. We needed it, but now I'm like, okay, mijo, you need to just chill out. Like, do you guys feel like that?
Yes.
Yeah. The same actually.
I'm Eurovisioned out.
But I have like fear about it. Just this year it's not gonna be the same because last year we're expecting for countries first to announce the singer, and it was quite exciting that whom they're gonna choose. Is it gonna be the same singer like from previous years, or it's gonna be somebody new? But now we have almost all of the singers who are from 2020 edition, and we're just gonna wait for the songs, you know. Yeah, that's a bit, you know, I don't know, like weird for me.
Go on, Sandra. Go on,
Can I say something? Can I say something? Sorry, Emil. I mean, I want to add to what you're saying. Yes, that's one way to look at it, but this year we have an unprecedented situation where we have fallen in love with some artists, and it's going to be so great to see them what they come up with again. We've become loyal to some artists, and this we will never get this again in Eurovision, and we can. This is a novelty for us, so I think it's a great opportunity to. It's like already knowing a football team and then going and supporting them in a new. How do you call that in football? Not semifinals. What? How do you call them?
A league.
Cups, in a new cup, in a tournament. Tournament is what I wanted to say.
Now we need to see. Yeah, now we need to see that. Now the talent of the artist has to pop up, because we need to see that if the songs that we fell in love with were just one-hit wonders, or that they can really put together two amazing songs 2 years in a row. So this unprecedented experience that we are going to have is beautiful in its way, because we are getting to compare same artists with different songs in 2 years in a row. That's the only positive thing that we can take from the cancellation of the 2020 Eurovision.
And we will come in as an artist fan, you know, not just Eurovision fan, but now we root for some artists to do well for next year because we fell in love with them this year.
Yeah, I think the pressure is definitely on. I think I'm echoing myself, and I think nearly all of us, but you can't help but feel sorry for maybe who were considered favorites going into next year, because they just have so much pressure on their shoulders to keep that up.
Yeah.
So I do feel sorry for them going back to their teams and starting from square one. Hello, Turkey. Oh, Emil. But now
he's just saying hello to Emil, not to you.
Okay.
Not to you, Miceal.
I noticed. I read that first. Well, I'm saying hello to you.
İyi akşamlar Türkiye.
İyi akşamlar Türkiye.
So that's Europe Shine a Light, guys, which they announced 2021 happening. But before we get into the season, because we just want to take a chill, let's look back, same as what everyone else did. Let's look back at 2020. I'll start with Joan. Highlights of this season for you?
Well, mine is very personal, but I have to say the final of Melodifestivalen, because I was there and it was an amazing experience. So that was my highlight. Yeah, and we met
each other.
So it was the best day in my life. So that has to be the highlight of my season.
You, Sandra?
Because before that highlight, I experienced the how my favorites were eliminated in every national final. I had Andromeda, I had Cicciolina in Finland. I had a lot of favorites that didn't make it. So that's it.
Yeah. What about you, Sandra?
One more thing I want to add is that the highlight of this year for me was, okay, Eurovision got canceled, but that enabled us to spend more time with the artists themselves on a more personal level. And they came on our channel, and we got to see them on other channels and just get down and personal with them, the fan base, I mean. And I had the unique opportunity to meet my personal winner. I think this is going to be probably the only chance to do that, because now the artists had the time to do that, because in an actual Eurovision season, they are so busy, and it's almost impossible. So it was a great experience for me. It helped that my favorite song, had a singer that had a great personality, but I was really in love with the song, and I wanted to pick his brain on how it happened, what's the meaning, and it was just great to hear that from him personally. So that was my highlight. Yeah, definitely.
Emil, what about you? 2020 highlights?
Well, actually, this year was a bit different even before quarantine for me. I never had like well, after all the countries, we already knew that whom gonna participate in the competition with which song. I had like my top five first, and this top five was eventually changing like every day, I would say. And it was I mean, it never happened to me because in last year, for example, I like from the beginning I had like two favorites with Duncan and Italy, but now it was changing like over time. First it was like Iceland, then of course Belgium, Overphonic, and yeah, and there were a lot of things happen in the national final. For example, in the Ukraine, I was watching really close their national final, and yeah, I wasn't expecting actually go away to win the national final of Ukraine. So yeah.
I think my highlight was going to Melody Festival as well, Joan. Going there, spending the week with Robert, spending the week with Alicia, and then we met Joan, and we met so many amazing people there, and we got to mix with other websites, and it was just so nice to like meet the community, and that's one thing I'm looking forward to next year. Like Toon said, going to these events, meeting these people, you guys in the chat. Meeting the other members of Eurovision Hub, like they're literally like a family. We've just become so close this season, and just going to all the events and just mixing more with the community for sure. It's got me really excited for the season.
Guys, I'm actually really jealous of you who participated in Melodifestivalen, because you got that community involvement in Sweden, which we didn't get eventually. And
no. Because we had the pre-party. It's so sad. It's like we saw the pre-party, we saw Date, we saw Ulrike, we saw them like do their thing, and thinking back, the host was like, "Do you think that they can win in Rotterdam? See you in Rotterdam?" And it's like an echo in my head now. I'm like, what? But it was a great year. But it's I think I'm echoing now Louise. She said it's saturated, and I think after Eurovision on Sunday you have a day to digest it, and then you kind of get on with your life. But since the cancellation, we've had the longest Sunday of our life to try and swallow this cancellation news. But yeah, I think a nice little break, chill out. What did you call it, Sandra? Like a Eurovision. I don't know what you said, but you said something anyway. Like
I'm Eurovisioned out.
That's it. I'm Eurovisioned out, and that's the craziest thing that you'll ever hear from my mouth. But I really am. But I'm so thankful for all of the things and all the content that's been online, all the other websites, all the other Eurovision bloggers. They have been doing amazing, and I think it's been a great year for the community for sure. But yes, let's have a little look at the chat before we sign off. By the way, thank you everyone for coming to tune into our little mini marathon. It's a nice way to mark the end of the 2020 season for sure. So we have
and thanks for being with us all this time. I mean, just hanging out with us.
I know, I love it. It's like the best part for sure.
I feel like I know them, like I know their personalities from the comments.
Yes, when we had the Euro jury members on, they were like, "Oh, like you guys seem to know all the people in the comments," and I was like, "Yeah, it's like it's like it's like every Sunday we come and literally hang out with these guys," and they were like, "That's so cool," and I was like, "It's an amazing little community that we've got." So I love it. Let's quickly see what's going on here. Bobby Michael said, "This year's Melfest is the song my favorite season qualify." Bobby Michael, who was your favorite? Louise said her 2020 highlight too many seasons all. Guys, I want to ask you about your Eurovision before we go in a minute. We heard the last group say that that it's definitely gonna happen, whether it will be like technologically advanced. Do you think you would have liked that to be in place sooner for maybe 2020, or just leave it done now?
I had trouble hearing the question.
So they announced that Junior Eurovision was definitely happening, but they've got measures in place to make sure it will definitely happen, even if it's online. Is that something you wish they would have implemented sooner, like so we could have 2020 Eurovision? Or
They could have done that for Eurovision 2020.
yeah,
But I'm glad that at least we can have Junior Eurovision this year. That's something.
yeah.
Even if it's
Imagine-
on a TV set, a small TV set. That's something.
Yeah.
But I think the Junior Eurovision this year
Well, I
will
think
be flooded.
Junior Eurovision will
with
will not
adults.
be virtual because I think it's in November. So I know until now, I think everything is gonna be okay. At least cross fingers.
Yeah, cross the fingers for sure. But I think that the junior contest will definitely get a lot more attention this year, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
With all the adult Eurovision fans, they're just gonna latch on to the Junior Eurovision, like, oh, give me something.
Yeah. Any sort of content, give it to us. But I want to say, hey, Matthew. Hey, Irish cousins. Hey, everyone. But guys, thank you so much for joining us in the chat tonight. Like Sandra said, we love just hanging out with you, catching up and sharing all our thoughts. And if you're ever feeling like that, you can just message anyone. The community is always here. It's a weird time still, so feel all your feelings. But yeah, Sandra, Joan, Emil, any final words, any final thoughts about everything?
Yeah.
Okay, who is starting?
Yeah,
you go, Joan.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my final words. That's like a contest. Well, I have to say that even though we didn't have Eurovision 2020, I'm happy that at least we get to meet each other here in Eurovision Hub, that we have built this Euro family, and also with the people in the chat and all the viewers. So I'm grateful for that. That's my highlight of the highlights of the 2020 season.
Thank you, Hermione. Inside joke, guys. Inside joke. So what I want to say is that I want to eat my words from before when I said that this was not a strong year. This was actually, I think, one of the strongest years in a while. And my playlist is bigger than my previous year's playlists. So I was wrong. I admit it. I'm sorry. And I'm looking forward to an even better year next season. And it's only 7 months until then, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Emil?
Well, I think that 2020 we're gonna remember this year for a long time because since 1956 it's the only year when we had yesterday all the countries to perform. I think that's a good thing to remember because we usually have semifinals and only 26 or 25 countries to join us on Saturday. But yeah, I don't want people to remember this year just something that Eurovision got cancelled or something. We got together yesterday and we got together today in Eurovision Hub community. So I'm thankful for all of you who joined us today, and we really hope to see you all very soon.
Yes, I mean, I don't even know what's left to say. I just agree with every single one of you guys. Like, here's to this 2021 season, but not before a little chill out.
Yeah.
But, thank you everyone in the chat from the past hour and a half for tuning in, sharing your opinions. We love it, and I'm off to watch Eurovision again.
Me too.
Yes, there's always loads happening, especially in the community. So yes, stay safe out there. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you very soon. Thank you so much, you three.
Bye bye. See you guys.
Bye.